Well, I'm Steve Poppe. I'm from the University of Minnesota West Central Research and Outreach Center. I'm a horticulture scientist there, working with others on this new University of Minnesota day-neutral low-tunnel strawberry project. I'd like to give you some background on this research project that started in 2013 and will continue through the 2014 growing season. Well, we know strawberries are an important part of our healthy diet. They have numerous things that help us, cancer prevention, low calories, whatnot. We know they're important. But in Minnesota, we have a very short growing season. And normally, we're used to picking June bears during that middle to June to early July in the state of Minnesota. This system, which we've developed, will make that season even longer. And I'll talk more about that and the picking season with these day neutrals. But the newer day neutral cultivars, they're available to extend the strawberry harvest, okay? And with our system, we're using organic methods to produce these strawberries, so we're not using any synthetic type pesticides. We're growing these at our experiment station on certified organic ground. And of course, thanks to the North American Strawberry Growers Association, which provided us funds for this experiment over the last 2 years, and also to the Minnesota Department of Ag, which we received some funds through the Minnesota Specialty Crop Block Grant. Our experimental objectives are to determine if newer day-neutral cultivars, and these day-neutral cultivars are unlike June bearers. They are not considered hardy in our area, okay? So with this experiment, we are not overwintering these day neutrals. We're growing them under organic management, as I mentioned before, so we're using, if we do need to use any pesticides, they are cleared for organic production. We're growing these on raised beds and looking at the difference in yield and plant growth characteristics when grown under low tunnels compared to open field. As you can see in the slide, we had 2 different methods with 2 different treatments, okay? One of them was growing in the low tunnels, one of them without low tunnels, okay? And I'll talk a little bit more about what the difference is there, but you can see a clear picture of our project. And with organic methods, it is cleared for use that we can use plastics. We just need to make sure that we remove those plastics at the end of the growing season so we can continue to be certified. The hoops on these low tunnels are created to create an ideal environment, protecting the plants and extending the season. And when I say protecting the plants, in case you get this terrible storm, hailstorm, windstorm, or whatever, you're offering some protection. Some of the long-term impacts. We would certainly, with our objectives, like to increase the number of strawberry growers, okay? We would like to maintain or increase yield. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Contribute to improved nutrition amongst consumers. We, in the state of Minnesota, we do consume a lot of strawberries. It is about 5 pounds per capita in the state of Minnesota, which is above the national average. So we do eat a lot of strawberries, even though California and Florida grow probably about 90% of the strawberries, but we know they're important to nutrition. We want to make fruit available during a non-traditional time. This experiment is, the strawberries will start bearing in late July and continue till mid-October. And of course, we would like to improve the economic and environmental sustainability for the growers. Why are we looking at low tunnels instead of high tunnels? High tunnels have been very, very popular. Numerous growers have constructed these high tunnels in the state of Minnesota over the last 5 or 10 years. We thought about growing these types of strawberries in a high tunnel, but space is not used efficiently due to the strawberry plant stature. Strawberries grow low to the ground. There's a lot of wasted space within a high tunnel growing strawberries. Also, there is increased amount of diseases and insects within a high tunnel. Through earlier research in Beltsville, Maryland, they have proven that we're not looking at a lot of these diseases, and I'll go into that in more detail in a little bit. Wind and snow damage has been an increasing amount of destruction with the high tunnels, okay? Snow and wind and whatnot has brought down a lot of these tunnels. We're thinking our system, which sits lower to the ground, might tend to alleviate some of these wind and snow damage elements. And the temperature gradient is high between the inside and the outside in a high tunnel. We'll talk more about that later, about temperature differences.